Phew! Back in my regular form. Hello, friends and enemies. It's a very special episode today. You know why? Today is the first time I will be reviewing a second album by an band that I've already done a review for. Those of you who've watched me since the beginning, or haven't, but just happen to have watched some of my older videos, may remember way back in October 2018, so long ago, my first ever album review here was the 2016 EP Teargarden by Costa Rican gothic rock band Ariel Maniki and the Black Halos. Well, today we are going to be reviewing their 2019 album, Jade. This album continues the theme from Teargarden and some of their other works of Talamancan mythology, that being the traditional beliefs of some of the indigenous peoples of Costa Rica. This is super cool for me as someone who grew up in the U.S. because literally the only indigenous people from Latin America we hear about are mostly the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Olmecs because they were in a country touching the U.S. Also part of what's now the U.S., but that's another subject. And also the Incans a little bit because they had to acknowledge that South America exists. Also, all we learned about the belief systems were human sacrifice, Quetzalcoatl, and that the Popolvuh was a thing that existed. Though nothing further. I love folkloric goth music, and it's even cooler when I get to hear groups I didn't previously know much about. It's nice when music teaches you stuff. So these are the songs. Our opening track is Jade, also the title track. The first half is instrumental. It starts out with nature sounds as it bleeds into music. The music is pretty mellow at first, but then it culminates into a more rocking portion. The lyrics describe a ritual, presumably involving human sacrifice. Good opener. Next up is Sulada. This song starts out with a cyber-gothy feel before going into more conventional post-punk goth rock type of sound. The song gets very dramatic. Sulada is apparently the name of a figure in Talamancan mythology, though unfortunately it's also the name of a yoga clothing company. So you'll have to fish around to get actual information. I recommend looking under her other name, Irira. Her dad, Sula, is the god of the underworld, and she is called the Earth Girl. She's also a tapir girl, which sounds very cool to me. If I'd planned this out better, I'd have released this video on World Tapir Day, which is April 29th, but we're obviously a bit late for that. Anyways, the lyrics appear to be describing a deity of sorts, presumably the title Sulada, who switches between the human and non-human worlds, currently saddened by a situation in which her world and belief in her is dying off. The fifth song is a real fun one. This is a good old twangy guitar with spooky background keyboards gothic rock song. This is definitely one of the harder rockers on the album. The lyrics describe people attempting desperately to get results with rituals as things are currently not going well. The following song is called Years. The song has its sort of vaguely sad, mellow rock feel to it, with some very high guitars and quiet background bass. The lyrics are about, you guessed it, the years passing by. Song number 5 is Like Rain. There are these twinkly keyboard sounds periodically, which I think is meant to simulate rain, like the title. This is another sad rocking song, which lyrically appears to be about a breakup. Following that, we have Dead on My Skin. This is another more rocking song, possibly the most rocking on the album. It starts out with a dramatic build before getting faster, although there's sort of a dramatic build to get there. After that, we jump right into the guitar and the drums, going all fast. The vocals switch between the more talky-singy style during the guitar portions and a more drony style, generally associated with goth male vocals in the more keyboard-driven intervals. The song appears to be lyrically about an underworld type of situation. The next song is Broken. I naturally like this song because it features a prominent bass line, and we all know that bass is the most important instrument in goth music, right? There is also some keyboard and guitar, but who cares? Kidding, all instruments are valid. Like most bassy rock songs, this is a more mellow song. Lyrically, it's about either dying and waiting to die, or already being dead and decaying and waiting to move on to the afterlife. 10 Spells is the next song. This song is very important because it features both Jerky Witch and Marco Hatamaki, I hope I'm saying that right, a Finnish goth band, Two Witches. Jerky Witch wrote the lyrics and does guest vocals, while Marco Hatamaki provides the cello, one of the few instruments on par with bass in levels of validity. This song sticks to a number theme as there's a lot of counting, and the melody reflects this. This is another song with twinkly sounds used here to invoke a magic feeling. In terms of sound, it is pretty repetitive, even when there is some build. This song is about using various magic spells to make someone yours. The following song is called Morning Star. No, it is not related to the AFI song of the same name. This song is far more rocking than that one. It has a sound associated with that sort of mystical goth rock. Lyrically, I honestly don't know what this song is about, but it sure sounds cool. After that is A Soft Kind of Violence. This song sounds as soft as the name implies. The instrumentation is mostly keyboard driven, though there is some soft guitar as well. It also features vocals by Caro Campos. The lyrics describe the nature of a chosen union, presumably romantic in nature, carrying on against all odds. A very fun song is next, Boruca Song. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Boruca are an indigenous group in Costa Rica. This song has a mix of instrumentation of what both sounds like those conch horn things and traditional percussion and calls, along with synths and more conventional modern rock and roll instruments. It's a very creepy building song. The lyrics appear to be describing the Danza de los Diablitos festival, the Dance of the Little Devils for my non-Spanish speakers. I highly recommend looking into it. Specifically, look for the one in Costa Rica, as there's a festival of the same name in Nicaragua that's kind of similar but kind of different. In short, the festival is a reenactment of the Spanish invasion of Costa Rica, with the Borucans coming out victorious. The reason it's the Dance of the Little Devils, which gets referenced a lot in this song, is because the Borucans wore masks that look like devils, appropriated from the Catholic faith that the Spanish tried to push, but it sort of reclaimed and turned, around back on them, with, them using the devil as sort of a symbol of, keeping to their culture. As a bitter ex-Catholic, I approve. No offense to any Catholic viewers. If you have positive experiences with the faith, that's awesome. Not all of us are so lucky. The final song is called Fade. Ava Red, who you will remember from Red Apple Cult, makes guest appearance on the bass and the acoustic guitar. The closing piece, it definitely sounds like a closing the way that Jade sounded introductory, showing us just how well this album was planned. We have some acoustic instrumentation, as I mentioned, which is a departure from most of the rest of the album. It's a very slow, mellow, almost melancholic song. Like they're really trying to make you feel kind of sad that the album's ending and letting you know they're going to miss you. This is another song that lyrically appears to be about dying. Maybe it's just about falling asleep, but dying is a very good possibility. So those were the songs. As you could probably guess, having been on my best albums of 2019 list, I liked this album. I've mentioned before that sound-wise, these guys remind me of a more modern Sisters of Mercy in terms of lyrics as well as sound. I feel like they're one of the more rocking version of one of those 90s pagan goth bands because of the folkloric references, but hey, it's about Central American cosmologies instead of Greek mythology or Gnostic Christianity. Not that those aren't cool, but you can only listen to so many songs about Lilith and Persephone, right? If you think this sounds cool, I have all the links to their streaming platforms below where you can listen to them, along with their social media if you want to follow them there. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you made it to the end, comment with a little devil emoji. If you want more stuff like that, hit that subscribe button and follow me on my other social media accounts, which are also linked below. Until next time, bye. Bye now.